Falcon fans, and of course, good old Falcon fans. You already know what it is. You already know what to do. One time for the fan, episode 220 in this thing. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and so much more. Big shout out to Bodie. Big shout out to Chase. Big shout out to Miss Carrie for one time for the fan. Oh, yeah. And another big shout out. T-Will from one time for the fan. What's up, T-Will? I believe T-Will is in the control room right now, working harder than ever. T-Will, everything all right?
Everything is good, sir. Everything is good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man.
Okay.
Everybody can hear you here in the chat.
Sorry about that. I was making some last minute modifications. So yeah, it's a crazy night at work, man. But hey, glad to be here. Talk some Falcons. Draft night for the NBA, right, Jack? That's what it looks like.
Draft night for the NBA. You know we love talking Atlanta Falcons football, and we're going to talk some Atlanta Falcons football here tonight. We're going to talk some. We're going to go back to the draft in a little bit. I know the draft is over, but you know, as you know, days progress and you get closer to the season, you kind of find out more and more things, Terry, about what happened on draft night.
Absolutely.
Right? We heard recently about teams that tried to, trade up during draft night that we talked about here on the podcast that the Falcons, declined. But then again, we just saw the Hard Knocks video that was just released. And the first, Yuri, big shout out to Yuri on ESPN right now. Rise up to our fan club. I was with Yuri the other day too as well. So he's at the draft right now. Big shout out to Yuri, who's a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. I know most of you guys probably seen Yuri either on this podcast. Remember, Terry, we had Yuri on here at draft night.
Yep.
When he was in Detroit. So they showed Yuri.
Oh, that's right. We did have. That's right. We sure did.
He joined in with us for a couple minutes after the draft, but now he's at the NBA draft right now, getting ready to watch the Hawks make their pick. For those of you that's watching ESPN, I'm sure they'll probably give another clip of Yuri because the Hawks are on the clock and they keep showing these two fans, and he's in the building too as well. But Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button, tag your Falcons friends, tell your Falcons family. But yeah, the draft we'll talk about tonight because Terry tried to be he tried to be sneaky Terry on draft night. So we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. And then Kirk Cousins, we love showing our respects to Kirk Cousins here one time for the fan. But a question was asked to the NFL, and we'll probably go over some of the comments too as well from the fans of the Atlanta Falcons and, of course, fans of other NFL teams and what they thought, Kirk Cousins' stats could be this season if he, of course, finishes the season healthy, which we all think he will. Hawks, yes, they are on the clock. They said the pick is in. Adam Silver is walking out. Who do you think it is, Terry?
Ricochet or wait. You know what? Bleacher Report just told me who it was. It's Ricochet. They took Ricochet.
Wow.
Which they should have, Sar wasn't coming. He told us to kick rocks. So, hey, man, bump him. He can kick rocks. We don't need him. We'll take Ricochet and be just fine.
I don't know too much about Ricochet.
I think he's a small forward. And I don't want to be wrong. So chat, hey man, y'all keep me honest. I think he's a small forward. He did play in France. I don't know if he's a 3-and-D guy, but obviously at the number one pick, he's got some ability. So I think he fits into our plans now. If you were going to take Klingon, you probably would have had to trade Clint Capella and or Amenyeka. Not Amenyeka. What's his name?
Yeah. You talking about
Okonwu. Yeah, you probably have to trade Okonwu, one of the two. And this way he kind of fits. You don't have to do that. You don't have to. You can slide him right in. I don't know if he's going to start, but at the number one pick, I would imagine he would play. But again, I don't want to say there was a dearth of talent, but let's just say it was not plentiful. But Ricochet looks like a decent kid. Looks like you can develop him, and I think it's a pretty good pick. I don't have an issue with it.
Hey, big shout out to the Hawks for making their pick. Was it Zachary Ricochet from France? So Hawks have their number one pick in the building.
Yep.
Of course, for a lot of Falcon fans here in the chat are also Hawks fans too, as well, like myself. As well, so we definitely want to see the Hawks win. So this kid is going to help take the Hawks to the next level. Hey, I'm all for it. I'll be in the building at State Farm watching some Hawks games this season. You draft him number one, he should be starting, Terry. But for Falcon fans, we're getting ready to talk some Falcons football because the chat is live. Chat is lit. But T-Will, since the last time we talked Falcons football on Sunday night, how's everything going with you, bro?
It's going well, brother. All is well. I have no complaints. Like I say, past couple of days have been busy. We've had some network issues, and so people have been going crazy. And one thing about it, anybody who works in a repair capacity, anytime there's an outage, it's just not fun for you, right? It's just not fun. So it's been a couple of days like that, but all is well. Thank God that I'm employed. I'm not going to complain. I appreciate it. I'm going to take it and keep on stepping. And hey, man, I get a chance to take a break and talk Falcons football with some of my favorite people. So I'm doing well. I have no complaints. And at that point, hey, man, I'm going to shut up. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. It's been a tough work week, taking care of what I can, during the summer, because in the fall we ball. Just like for the NFL players, they're out there on the field. And just like for us, diehard Atlanta Falcon fans, we're out there in the stands too as well. So for all the fans here in the chat, definitely hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Deshaun Cause was in the chat already. Deshaun said, "What's up, one-timers? What rapper is this? And if I should ever fall, the ground will then turn to wine. Yeek, get some." Terry?
I mean, first off, I think we only got half the bar.
And if I should ever fall, the ground will then turn to wine.
Like, there had to be a line before that, I'm assuming, that had a word that rhymed with wine. But okay. With that being said, I have no idea, man.
That's tough. It sounds like some Wu-Tang Ghostface Killer. I'm just going to throw it out there. We still have to throw our guesses out there for Deshaun. I'm going to say Wu-Tang Ghostface Killer. Somebody from up north.
I don't. Wine?
And if I should ever fall, the ground should turn to wine.
They're not wine guys. I honestly, I don't know, but I don't think it's a rapper of my generation. I'm going to say probably 2004 or later, and I have no idea who it is. So hey,
he stopped us again.
He's on a roll, man. He's on.
Now, if he was to give us, I tell you this: if Deshaun was to start giving us 4 bars from every rapper, it'd be over. I think we probably wouldn't even lose that.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's been a lot of rappers, man, but I know he got us tonight. Let's see who said. Let's see.
Let's check to see who know the answers. Let's see. Deshaun put it in the chat. And I don't Google it either. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go over there and type in the answer and just try to, cheat the win. I really try to go off of thinking.
Oh my God, it's Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne?
It's Lil Wayne. I feel like an idiot.
God, fall, the ground should turn to wine.
It's Lil Wayne.
Smooth Seas in the chat. One time for the one time. Big shout out to Kenny in the chat. What up, family? One time.
What's going on?
Big shout out to Kenny in the chat. DSGB Hall's in the chat. First draft pick with one time for the fan. You already know what it is. Hey, one time for the fans on Sunday nights, 8 o'clock, Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock, Friday mornings, 9 a.m. And we have our pop-up shows every now and then. But the draft just falls on tonight where we're talking Falcons football. And, of course, the Hawks have their, the NBA has their draft night, and the Hawks is the number one pick. So big shout out to the Hawks for what they have going forward. Trae Young, DeJounte, Clint, this young man, Zachary Ricochet, I believe his last name is. Yep. Hey, this is the future of Atlanta. Let's get back to the playoffs. Let's get back to that Eastern Conference championship. I'd love to get to the NBA Finals with these Atlanta Hawks, man.
That'd be awesome.
So let's see what this team can do. Because everybody's excited about the Falcons too as well. Everybody's excited about Georgia's upcoming schedule. Not too many people excited about Georgia Tech. No disrespect to Tech, but we're dogs over here. Go Dogs.
It's okay, man. Somebody's got to be, a boss in the workplace. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the Georgia Tech motto. You might beat us at football, but you'll work for me one day or something like that. I think that really is a thing. So, I guess it evens out. They suck at football, but it evens out. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I'm guessing the number 2 pick is going to be Alex, right? To Washington?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Alex to Washington.
I don't really like him, but whatever.
Dan Burst. ATO teams are known for shocking people. Braves with a big win today too as well.
Yeah, they're playing a doubleheader. So they're playing because the game yesterday was rained out. So the one they played today would have been yesterday, and they're playing now. They're down 2-0. But hopefully we can rally the troops and do what we need to do.
What inning are we in right now, Terry?
5th. Bottom of the 5th, I think. Yeah, bottom of the 5th.
Carlton Bunches in the chat. What up? One time for the fan. Jack Spade. T. Will.
What's up, Carlton? I see my little brothers in there.
Needs to be traded.
DSGB. What up, DSGB? Sullivan.
Oh, Shucky Ducky. Guess who's back? The one and only Shucky Ducky. One time for the fan. Old man Sully. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We are almost at the Thou Wow subscribers, and it's because of you all.
Wow.
I think we're at like 933 or 934 or something like that.
I think 936, aren't we?
Somewhere around there. But it's really because of the Falcon fans. We provide content as much as we can, with our Sunday, Wednesdays, and Friday shows. Of course, when training camp starts, we'll be at a lot of on-site locations to provide more content for you all. Home games, away games, like I said, OTAs, practices, whatever we can do to show Falcon fans that One Time for the Fan is here 24/7 for you all. Big shout to Sullivan in the chat. Third party actions in the chat. Let's go Atlanta sports family. Big shout to third party action in the chat. Eric Parker said Lil Wayne. He already called it out. Big shout to Eric Parker in the chat with the one time.
What up, LBB?
It's great to see the diehard Atlanta Falcon fans checking in, right? And there's a lot of Falcon fans who watch it and don't comment. Go ahead and drop a comment in the chat. Season ticket holders, rep what section you are here in the chat. Here's the cool thing about it. And you met Hal Poole the other day too as well.
And you know what? I did meet Hal. It was great. Hal at
wearing his fresh Michael Penix jersey. Hal always loves talking about some of our past quarterbacks here in Atlanta. Not in the most positive way. But he had on his fresh Michael Penix jersey. But Hal Poole, he's a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan, but listening to this podcast, he kept telling us on the podcast, man, I'm going to get season tickets. I'm about to be one just like y'all soon. And sure enough, Hal Poole did go ahead and get some season tickets. So all the season ticket holders in the chat, drop your sections in the chat. Rep your sections because, of course, the stadium is going to be back for, the Falcon fans in a couple weeks for training camp and not training camp. For training camp, August the 2nd, open practice. And then they have, the preseason game coming up shortly after, So Falcon fans in the chat, rep whatever section you sit in.
What's up, man? Hey, you know what else about Hal? Jack? He is from my wife's hometown.
He did. That is true. That is true. He did text me about that.
Hometown.
That is true. He where is that now, Terry?
He's from Millersville, but it's essentially Sparta, Georgia. Not Sparta, Mississippi, like on the heat of the night, but it's Sparta, Georgia. But that is where my wife is from. And speaking of my wife, today is her birthday. And ladies and gentlemen, I know every husband feels about this way, or every husband should feel this way about his wife. But, in my humble opinion, my wife is the best. She's the best person I know. My wife is helping me to grow, has helped me to grow. Some of the best moments of my life have been with her. Truly an unselfish person. Jack, if you would give me a little leeway, I'd like to tell a little story about my wife, if I could. Now, I know y'all want to talk Falcons, but
this is One Time for the Fan, and it's from the fan, it's for the fan. Terry, you are the fan, so please.
All right. I just want you guys to know, my wife is the kind of person that all of her obviously her kids love her, her nieces and nephews love her. She goes out of her way to help people. She goes out of her way to buy gifts for folks. She goes out of her way to pray for people. She helped take care of my mother day and night, and just truly one of the most unselfish people I've ever met in my life. I am completely undeserving of her. It is a blessing from God. She is a blessing from God. And I just want to say, Kim, to you, I love you to the moon and back. You are my every morning, my every evening, my every afternoon, and whatever else I forgot. You know what we say. I love you and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To the street, she's 25. I'm not going to say her real age because I want to keep my teeth. You
got to keep it real.
She's 25, but I just want to put that out there. All right, Jack. I said I would do it. I did it. Now let's get to Falcons. I'm sorry, but had to do that.
No, that's a great thing, Terry. And that's what One Time for the Fan is all about. I mean, we can talk Falcons all day, but when it's time to keep it real outside of the Falcons, we can do that here on the channel. I don't know if other channels, do that, or they try to cut back quickly to Falcons, or just, not here. I mean, we can use this platform to talk about anything we want. We can go straight to Kendrick Lamar right after this if you want. But yeah, Terry, you are definitely right, man. I mean, I met your daughter too as well when you guys came to the fan club cookout that we had too as well. Over the weekend, and you have an amazing family, so big shout out to your wife. Happy birthday to her too as well. And Falcon fans are in the chat. Sullivan said, my daughter is watching you too for the first time.
Oh wow.
He said Iris is asking for a shout out from you too. Big shout out to Iris. Hey,
Iris!
Big shout out to Iris.
What's going on? What's up, Iris? How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Sullivan said, my wife and I just hit 11 years, fam.
Congratulations.
That is beautiful. Congratulations.
Hey,
man, say it loud and proud, fam. See, the fans agree with you in the chat, Terry. So that's the cool thing. If the fans agree with you, we're going to keep on rolling with it, man. So,
love it. Hey, let's give Anthony a shout out, man.
What's up?
Anthony, let's give him a shout out. What's up, Anthony?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Chat comments are rolling up in here now. False Start Falcon said, what it do, y'all? Big shout out to False Start Falcon. Anthony is in the chat. So what's good, Jack and Terry? Anthony just joined the Rise Up Tour fan club recently. So we have a lot going on this season. I'm sure Anthony's going to be excited to see what we have going on the road for the diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. Got my Rise Up Tour fan club flag up too over there. I don't know if you guys see it over there on the wall.
Rise up.
Oh yeah, it's going down in a major way. All right,
I think I'm gonna put mine up back there, Jack, but I'm gonna have a hard time getting to it.
I mean, hey, it depends on what size the flag is. I mean, this one right here is it's a pretty big flag. Now, this one, the one behind me, I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna try to pull it up here. Hold on.
I can't see. Oh no, wait, no, the poster or the flag?
No, the flag.
No, I don't see the other flag behind you. I see that one. I see that one. I don't see the
that
other
one right there, the Rise Up Tour fan club flag. That's technically not allowed on row one if you're sitting row one in most stadiums. But guess what? I don't care. I'm still gonna bring it. So security might take it from me, but it is. But guess what? We have the backup, and the backup one is definitely good for row one. But we don't want to use the backup. You don't use the backup first. You got to use the one that they're going to take from you, right? So the security going to feel good, thinking, "Oh yeah, we got the flag. Yeah, this guy's done for." Like, nah, bam, got the backup. Which this one is protocol for the NFL. It's within the rights that I can use this flag. So use the one that they're going to take first, and then you hit them with the backup. Like, bam!
Wow!
Wow! That's a wild moment, right?
Wow!
That's gonna hit that.
That's gonna switch to auxiliary. They've taken it. Switch the tanks. Switch to auxiliary. That's what we're doing.
Hit that subscribe button.
What up, Chase?
Dirty Fanatics United is in the house. Hit on over there and hit that like, share, and subscribe button for Dirty
35 to 10, Philip.
Yo, rise up.
35 to 10 every game, Philip. We kicking ass every game, Philip. 35.
Big shout out to Philip. Big shout out to Cody over there. Big shout out to Chase. With Dirty Fanatics United. You know, they have a lot going on too as well. You can catch them, I believe, Friday nights. They have their show coming up this week. So Falcon fans, you want to head on over there, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. And of course, a lot of content creators. You see a lot of pop-up shows too as well. So big shout out to everybody in the Falcons content creator community. You know, we're out here trying to do the best we can until season starts. Because once the season starts, Terry, it's on and popping.
It's on and popping.
Jay Black 142 said the Hawks picking up a forward in the draft will call for us to watch for that front office. Call for us to watch for what that front office will do. Sorry, not wanting to work out for us means our front office sucks. A lot of fans pointed that out. They're not too big on Landry Fields. They're not too big on the group. Was it Tony Wrestler too as well? His group that they have over there. But hey man, I just want a winning culture in Atlanta when it comes to my Hawks. You know what I'm saying? Because we love our Falcons, we love our Braves. Right. But the Hawks got to get back on track. I think they put too much on Trey too as well.
They do.
But I thought they were going to get a 7-footer. I guess they're putting a lot of trust in Capella. But the NBA, you have 4, 5, 7-footers coming out this draft. You got to snag one of them, right? You got to put a big guy in the paint. I don't see Capella just doesn't do too much for me as a Hawks fan, you know. And I've seen some of his defensive days behind him in Houston, and it's like, man, where is the Capella from Houston?
I mean, father time is cruel, but this is the way I look at it, right? Ricochet looks like he's going to be promising, and I look at our Hawks front office like the drunk uncle that you embarrass. I mean, that's still your uncle, man. That I mean, I can talk about him, but nobody else better talk about him. You know what I mean? So whoever, I don't know who Sar thinks he is, but hey, man, bump him. Okay, bump him. I put out a post about how I feel about it. Who was talking about that? Jeff Teague had some.
Big shout out to Jeff Teague. His podcast is popping too as well.
Yeah, it is. But he had some colorful words to say about Mr. Alex Sarr. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to say anything else. I just felt like it was disrespectful. Hard Knocks offseason with the new. Oh, so so are they doing the entire NFC East? Or
it
no? It
seems they have a bunch of teams they're using. Of course, Netflix has their specials too as well. They're putting out. But the Giants have their Hard Knocks special coming to HBO. And for Falcon fans, we don't really care about the Giants Hard Knocks unless you like watching just football from all NFL teams and just film and what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, that stuff is cool. But something caught my eye, Terry, when I was watching this the other day.
All right.
So I got to put this up here for Falcon fans to see. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Of course, you can see the New York Giants Hard Knocks special. And early in the trailer, you see the words on the screen. We should stay and pick, right? This is Atlanta. So let's go back. Atlanta's calling the Giants during the draft. You can see he looks at the phone. Looks down. Words come on the screen. We should stay and pick, right? This is Atlanta. Terry's calling. Terry, was that you calling or was that Terry Fontenot calling?
No, I think it was Terry Fontenot, sir. I was on the podcast with you.
That's true.
And Kerry and I were joking that the Falcons were going to take Michael Penix, which they did, by the way, right? So I'm just saying, maybe Kerry and I should be Terry and Kerry Damas because we did predict it. Now, it was a joke, but we did predict it, and it did come true. So I'm just saying. What's going on, Wallace? DSGB. So they did.
Why,
so Terry
tried
the Falcons
to trade calling the Giants, Terry?
That's a good question. That is a good question.
I need to know. This is why I have to watch this Hard Knocks now. Maybe I can get the answer. Maybe somebody can ask them, Raheem or Terry, this question at the next press conference. But
who picked at 7?
Wasn't it Tennessee?
Maybe. I don't. I mean, Will Levis wasn't that bad. I don't know if they thought maybe they thought Tennessee was going to take Michael Penix. I don't know.
Fans in this chat, let me know. Why are the Falcons calling the Giants during the draft? Don't forget, they did turn down another trade from the Bears, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Falcons trade from the Bears. So they turned that trade down, but they're calling the Giants. Unless this is Fugazi, which I don't think it is. HBO wouldn't put that out. But you see the words are on the screen. We should stay and make this pick, right? This is Atlanta calling. You know how it says the Giants are now on the clock? You know that type of shit, Terry, when we're doing the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
This was happening behind the scenes. The Falcons are calling the Giants. Were they trying to
only reason you do that is you're trying to get by Tennessee.
Did they think that another team was going to move up and get Penix? Was they worried about that?
Maybe they thought another team was going to come up to 7. Maybe they thought the Titans were going to trade with someone, and so to get ahead of it, they went up to 6. Because we're at 8, so your only obstacle could be 7, or you wouldn't be calling the Giants to trade. So they had to think that either Tennessee was going to select Penix, or someone was going to trade up and potentially get him. That's the only reason. That's the only logical reason that I think you do that. You try to make a trade with the Giants. That's it. What do you think?
The Titans was at number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Giants.
They got Will Levis. They just drafted him last year in the first round, right? Did they draft him in the first round or second round?
No, there's like a second round, yeah, I believe.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's still their quarterback. So the likelihood of them drafting him, maybe they thought New Orleans or somebody else was going to trade up to 7.
And then the worst, of course, you can't see what's going on the screen, but it says, Terry says, what do you think? Trying to make a deal, Terry. The Falcons called the Giants on draft night. Were they trying to move up, I guess, to even secure Penix, definitely? Because they thought a team was going to move up past the Falcons to get Michael Penix? Obviously, the Giants turned down the trade because they ended up, staying at 8. But, Terry, just your thoughts. I mean, you see it now weeks later, months or so later, after the draft, that the Falcons did call the Giants to see if they can move up.
I guess they really valued Penix because if you're picking at 8, right? It's not like they're trading from 16, so you're trading from 8. The only reason you do that is you think that, and there were rumors that other teams tried to trade up, so maybe New Orleans or Vegas or somebody was trying to trade up to 7. And since the Falcons didn't want that to happen, maybe they called the Giants to say, hey, do you want to trade at 6?
What would the trade be, Terry, if you was Terry calling the Giants?
If it's me, I'm going up 2 spots. I mean, I'm going to hate to do it, but
This is a heavy trade value in the NFL. They're giving up everything right now just to move up half a spot down there.
I'm probably going to give up a first next year, maybe a second this year. Maybe a third and a fourth next year. I mean, I don't know, but maybe 4 or 5 picks. If it's me, because I mean, if Michael Penix is your guy and that's what then you can't miss. So,
I knew there was going to be a possibility for them to draft Penix with the 8th pick, but even still calling the New York Giants just to see what offers they can put out on the table. Do you believe, Terry, they make the trade, they move up with the Giants, and they select a different player? Or was it Penix from day one, from the start?
I think it was Penix from the start.
Penix from the start.
Yeah. Yeah, just looking at everything that Raheem has said, there have been 2 things that have been consistent. And one of them was Raheem does not ever want to be without a quarterback. Mm-hmm. And Arthur Blank does not want to be without a quarterback. And I think it was a synergy of things that took place. Michael Penix came along. I think he was their guy. And I don't think they were going to miss, and I don't think they were going to waver. Mm-hmm. I think they just valued him. Like I said, they valued him as the second best quarterback on the board. So if you think that, then of course you'd go up to 6 to get him. So yeah, I think it was Penix. I don't think there was any doubt about it because again, we find this out now that they only gave up a 5th round pick, like Thanos said. I gave up a 5th round pick at $250K, but they didn't know that at the time, right? Mm-hmm. So you got all of these variables that are, well, we don't know how many picks we're going to have next year. We don't know who's going to be available. Kirk's coming off the energy, yada, 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 yada. So I think all of that added up to, we're going to take Penix. Mm-hmm. They might have traded up to number 2 to take Penix. I think it was going to be Penix all the way.
Falcon fan asked me, do I think they was moving up to go get a wide receiver? No, I do not.
No.
I think it was Penix all along. But, I mean, they valued this kid since day one once they flew the crew out to the West Coast to go see him. But just to hear that they did call the Giants now months later has us talking here on One Time for the Fan. Just to know what happens behind the scenes. So next year for draft night, Terry, same thing we did this year. We didn't put all of our eggs in one basket when it came to the players that the Falcons could select. We had a list of players that we thought the Falcons could select. And, of course, for most of us, Penix might have been on the bottom of the list because we didn't think quarterback was going to be that top issue at number 8. But then again, when the Falcons made the pick, most of us were shocked. But now we see what the future plan is here for Atlanta at quarterback. Mm-hmm. And big shout out to the Falcons for making this selection. So Wallace Smith is in the chat. He said it was Penix from the start, and they probably was checking to see what it would take to move up. That is true. You get those behind the scenes talk, Terry, in the war room when it comes to draft night. But to hear even days after the draft, remember the Saints, the Jets teams, other teams that was trying to move up apparently after that too as well. And then of course, last week or a week or 2 weeks ago, we heard the Falcons turned down the trade from the Bears. So, as we get closer to training camp, more news starts to come out of what happened on draft night. So here at One Time for the Fan, we love to talk about it. But one thing we also love to talk about, Terry, is our quarterback, and that is Kirk Cousins. And I know a lot of Falcon fans are excited to see Kirk Cousins here in Atlanta because, not only being a veteran in the NFL, but he's also a leader, and he's a damn good quarterback. Too as well. I think we've talked about the stats in the past, and I'll pull them up here shortly. But Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button as we talk about Kirk Cousins. Terry, a question was asked the other day, and I have to ask you this question. I have to ask the chat the question because we are talking Falcons football. This is what it's about. We got to predict the stats. And the NFL asked the question of what kind of numbers will Kirk be putting up in the ATO this year. And before you get to your comment here, Terry, let's read some of the comments here on Twitter, or X, as they call it now. Justin Burley said 37 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 4,700 yards pretty much, and a trip to the Super Bowl. You gotta like that comment. That sounds pretty damn good. James Hellum says 4,600 yards, passing yards, 33 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. So this sounds like Kirk Cousins stats if you're looking at it. The Carter 712 said it was Kirk Chains in Minnesota. It's going to be Kirk rings in ATL. That means there's going to be a lot of rings. A lot of Falcon fans. The first 3 comments.
That deserves a wow.
That's a wow. Let's wild out. Come on, Falcon fans. Let's wild out.
Wow. That's a wow.
That's what it's all about.
I love it, man. I'm in agreement. Look
at Chuck Bass,
bro.
4,400 yards, 29 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and 30 trips to the varsity. That's tough.
Oh man!
Historical MVP year, Super Bowl MVP. Look at the fans here in the chat. Look at the fans on the comments for the NFL's post of what Kirk Frost is going to be doing here in Atlanta. Bliss Banter said top 3 quarterback in the NFC with numbers. This is what it's about, Falcon fans. Terry, let's ask the question to you now. Let's predict these stats, man. What will the numbers be for Kirk Cousins in Atlanta? I'm going to
say no less than 4,500 yards. Now it'll probably be more than that, but I'm going to say no less than 4,500 yards because I do think that with the assortment of weapons that we have, that people are just not paying attention to. That people are. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. This could be a resurrection of the greatest show on turf. Terry, you're an idiot. Maybe I could be. I could be an absolute moron. But we've got Bijan Robinson, a la Marshall Faulk. Okay, we got Drake London, we got Darnell Mooney, we got Kyle Pitts. We got weapons. We got racks on racks on racks on racks on racks. We got weapons. We got weapons for days. We got weapons we might not even play. We got guys coming off the bench. We got Casey Washington. And we got a field general who recognizes defenses and knows where to go and where to distribute the ball. And we got a defense that's hungry as hell and ready to go. And we got Ray McDonald on special teams, and all of that is going to add up to a whole lot of 35-10 ass whoopings for the NFL. Look, man, 4,500 is a minimum. I'm going to say Drake's going to get 1,000. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, a thou wow. This is one time for the fan. You know what?
Thou wow.
Going forward, I'm going to make a rule, Jack. You can no longer say 1,000. Going forward, whenever you are in the ethos of one time for the fan, whenever the show's going, it's thou wow. It's thou wow. It's an executive decision. I'm the vice president. Mr. President, I motion that we no longer say 1,000. It's only a thou wow. What do we say? What do we say?
Wow, man.
Motion for, or motion against? What do we say? Motion for? Motion for? Is that what we're doing? Yes? I'm going to say yes. All right. So it's thou wow. It's Thou Wow, yeah. So I'm gonna say Drake gets a Thou Wow. I'm gonna say Kyle gets 800. I'm gonna say Bijan is gonna run for 100, catch about 500 yards worth of passes. I'm gonna say run for 1,000, catch about 500 yards. I'm gonna say Tyler's gonna run for maybe 750, maybe 8. Mooney's gonna get about, let's call it 700 yards. And Ray and Rondell Moore just gonna go stupid. I mean, all of that, man, like all of those guys, all of that speed. Oh my God, man. Yeah, no less than 4,500 yards. I'm gonna say no less than 23 touchdowns. You know what? I'll say between 23 and 28 touchdowns. Because I think a lot of our touchdowns will be running it in from the 1, 2, 3 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna hit some teams in the mouth. But I'm gonna say no less than 28 touchdowns. Fine. Maybe 30 touchdowns, and I'll say 7 interceptions.
Falcon fans, predict the stats for those listening and for those watching. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and so many more. We can look at Kirk Cousins' stats right here, Terry. Even last year before he went down, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 103 passer rating, 2,300 yards plus. Of course, you got the Vikings in 2022 with Kirk, 4,500 yards, 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. 2021 Vikings, 4,200 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So just going back over these past couple of years from touchdown to interception ratio, I'm going to have to probably go with Kirk, even from 2020. Hell, let's go back. All right, from 2020. So 35 touchdowns, 33 touchdowns, 29 touchdowns, and he was on pace for another 30-plus touchdown season. I'm going to go with Kirk, healthy, 100%. Kirk going 30 touchdowns next season. 30-plus. He's had 35 in 2020. Of course, you know, the COVID year and everything. 33 2021, 2022, 29. Wish he probably could have got 30, even more right there too as well. 92.5 passer rating. I don't even know their run game that season for the Vikings. I don't even know how strong it was. But 18 touchdowns last year before he went down. Give me 30-plus touchdowns for Kirk. Go to the interceptions now. 2020, 13. 2021, 7, 14, and 5. Give me less than 12 interceptions for Kirk. More than 30 touchdowns.
Yep.
Less than 12 interceptions. Let's go to yards now. 2020, 4,200. 4,200, 2021. 4,500, 2022. On pace for probably another 4,500 to 5,000 yard season. Give me 4,300 yards for Kirk. If I just go numbers, like just straight up, 4,300 yards, 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Okay.
For Kirk. Those are some decent stats. That's damn near MVP stats if you're going across the NFL. But, of course, you know, Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen. And we don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do this year. So there's going to be some competition. But that passer rating will definitely be up again. Touchdown to interception ratio is definitely going to be through the roof again. That's what Kirk does. Look at the numbers. Back to 2015, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. 2016, 25 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Almost threw for 5,000. Look at the passer rating. 101, 97, 93, 99, 107, 105, 103, 92, 103. Falcon fans, you get a man, Terry.
Kurt, as they say, is a dog. He
Terry,
is a dog.
You see it right here as you're looking at the stats for Kirk Cousins. Going back to 2015, Falcon fans, once again, the passer rating. 101.6, 97.2, 93.9, 99.7, 107.4, 105, 103, 92, 103. Terry, you're getting a guy who has those Matt Ryan-like abilities. That can come in here and light it up from week 1 all the way to the end of the season. So when we speak about playoffs here in One Time for the Fan, we're not jumping the gun here, right? With a healthy Kirk, with a guy, like you mentioned, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. You've seen the production from them already with quarterbacks who wasn't even supposed to be here. And I'm talking about Bijan Robinson now, and Rondell Moore in the mix, and Darnell Mooney in the mix now. Falcon fans, you got something special at quarterback.
I'm going to predict that our running game is going to really benefit from Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't put 8, 9 folks. Well, you can do that if you want to, but it's going to be a real quick trip to the end zone. But you can't stack the box anymore, which means Bijan and Tyler, they are going to eat, man. I just think the way they did this and set this out, I think it's great. I think it really is great, and I think that I think it's going to be a great year, man. I think, every now and then it's kind of like this, right? Just imagine, Jack, if you would walk with me for a second. Just imagine if you would. You wake up tomorrow, right? You wake up tomorrow, and your boss calls you and tells you, you've been doing such a great job. How about you just stay home for the day, and we're going to pay you and do whatever.
What if I call my boss and say, you know what? I've been doing such a great job. I'm just going to stay home today.
Hey man, you're 80 yards on the run. You can do whatever you want to do. Point is, right?
You almost saw it Saturday too. I'm getting the arm
almost
back too.
Did. Well, almost did. Yeah, I know it's coming back, right?
Yeah, it's been a tough weekend.
You wake up like that, right? You wake up like that, and so but you still take the kids, right? And so you and the wife get to like go to a nice restaurant that you've been wanting to go to, right? And it's great. And while you're in the restaurant, you walk in and somebody recognizes you from One Time for the Fan or from your golf expertise because you've been out here networking and stuff, or from 80 on the Run or whatever, right? And they say, you know what, Jack, because you're so awesome, you don't have to pay for your dinner, which is not cheap because you don't take your wife to a cheap restaurant. That's a win, right? All right. So you leave, right? You leave the restaurant. You're with your wife and she's like, honey, can you stop and get me some gum? And you're like, okay, I'm going to stop and get you some. And you go in there and you're like, to hell with it, man. I'm going to play a scratch off. And you play a scratch off and you win $50,000. And you're like, holy shit, man. You win $50,000, right? And, you knowing you being you always meet a friend. So you start keying with the owner of the gas station. And he's like, hey, you know what, man? You're such a cool dude. I'll tell you what, you take a free tank of gas on me. And you're winning, right? You're winning, right? And let's say you left your kids with the babysitter, and the babysitter calls and is like, hey, you know what? If you want to come back and get them at 12, it's okay. So you and your wife go to see a movie, and it's the greatest movie you've ever seen. You know what I mean? And then you get home, right? And you open up your bill, right? And your cable company made an error, Xfinity, that you were talking about, and they saw your podcast and saw that they had pissed you off, and they said, you know what, Jack, we're going to give you $500 for all the grief because we don't want you to air our dirty laundry, so we don't want to piss you off, right? It's like things just came together at the right time, and you had the perfect day. This is how I see this Falcons season. I really do. I think it is a synergy of good fortune, great planning, and great previous draft picks. We got 3 number 1 studs on offense that haven't been used, that is just sitting there like, I'm ready, coach. I'm ready. We've got an offensive genius in the making who Raheem personally picked and said, hey, you coming with me. We got Raheem who, let's be real. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to offend anybody, but
keep it real.
I halfway want to start calling him Black Moses. Like, he's just like,
shit.
You know what? That's not a good, because Moses wasn't really a good speaker.
That's tough.
You know what? I'm gonna fuck it.
Just call him Raheem.
I'm gonna call him football Martin Luther King. Like, my Falcons have a dream. My Falcons have a dream. I have a dream one day, ladies and gentlemen, that Falcon fans.
No, you're speaking your Falcon fandom out here to the public, because I know where you're going with this.
Saying, I mean, he's a speaker. He he can get you to do anything. He's a motivator figure. He's a motivator.
Leader. You've seen him as a coach. He's a player's coach.
Les Brown, the Tony, whatever the hell his name is, of the NFL. Like, he's Tony Robbins. Like, he's awesome, right? You got Raheem, right? You got Raheem sitting over there, right? You got coaching. Oh my God, we have so many great coaches that he's done. Dude, we got weapons on offense. We got weapons on defense. Grady's on defense like, thank you, God. Yes. They put some guys around me. Yes, let's go get it. And all of this is sitting here waiting while these idiots are still talking about why we took Michael Penix at number 8. And you know what? I hope we make it to the Super Bowl so I can look back and say, I'm not going to shoot him the bird. It's my wife's. I'm not going to choose violence today, Kim, but you know what I'm thinking. But the point is, the time is right. I think this is our season. I think lightning has struck. I think we have an opportunity. And I think Kirk and the Falcons are just going to go off. And I'm sorry for being so long-winded, but man, I'm just so excited. Like it's like I've been having this dream for 6 months, right, of this thing happening, and nobody would listen to me. Nobody would believe.
I believe you, Terry.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
But the Falcons now, of course, going the route that they're going with, of course, Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix, should have Falcon fans feeling good about, the quarterback room, because there was something that we worried about for such a long time here in Atlanta when we know that Matt Ryan was getting ready to come to the end of his career with Atlanta. But Mariota and then Ritter, then the Heineke situation, then not knowing what's going to happen this offseason, and then bam, Kirk Cousins enters. But as we talked about here shortly, a couple minutes ago, Kirk Cousins' stats, Terry, it's right here on the screen. Look at the passer ratings. It's right here. 103, 92, 103. I keep talking about it. Kirk Cousins with a healthy Kirk Cousins going through this entire season. Terry, you're talking playoffs. You're talking NFC South champs. And we're saying this in June. So, we're diehard Atlanta Falcon fans here, but we're keeping it real with you. I do believe that this team could make the playoffs, Terry.
I think it is because of Kirk Cousins too as well. Super Bowl. I'm not looking. I'm so past the playoffs. It's a done deal.
There are some fans in the chat that will agree that this team is playoff ready. This team could win the division.
This team could win the Super Bowl. Bump the division. This team could win the Super Bowl. Jack, where's my brother Eric Parker? Where you
Eric
at,
Parker
Eric?
is in the chat.
Eric, I need a 17-0, bro. I need a 17-0 right now. I'm tripping.
You're not going to get Eric Parker telling you a score prediction on game day where it says the Falcons are losing. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. But
so big shout out to Eric Parker, diehard Atlanta Falcon fan.
This team right here, they are good enough to win a Super Bowl. Doesn't mean they will. Okay? Because sometimes you got to have luck. You got to have the right people stay healthy. You know what I mean? Things have to work out for you. But I'm saying the talent is there. This is a way more talented team than people give them credit for. There is a surplus of talent. We got talent in droves. And hey, man, look, I'm not worried about the offense, but I'm really excited about this defense. Because I think
you should put that on the t-shirt, Terry. I'm not worried about this offense, but I'm really excited about this defense.
Absolutely.
Put that on the t-shirt.
I think we can get after it, man. I really do. I do, Jack. I just, bro, I know I'm on.
We was on the other night speaking with Country and Smitty with them, and you know how they mentioned, do you think the Falcons can get over 42 sacks this year?
Mm-hmm.
A couple of us agreed, a couple of us disagreed, but at the end of the day, it's about winning. I think Uncle Steve said it best, where he doesn't have to see the team get over 42 sacks this year. Just win the game. If the team gets 35 sacks this year and we make it to the playoffs, Falcon fans should not be upset. I know we went down in sacks this year because, last year would be 42. This year, if it was 35, that's what it was. But we made it to the playoffs. So Falcon fans, feel good about this defense. Feel good about this team because, Kirk Cousins, he definitely adds a different element to this quarterback room that we've been missing for a while. Of course, Kyle Pitts now coming back, being 100%. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. We got to give a big shout out to Rondale Moore and Darnell Mooney, too, as well. Right? Those guys are going to be skillmatic in what they can do this season.
Skillmatic.
Yeah, man. We're taking the
Nas
days. Big shout out to Nas. Third-party action says, Super Bowl, let's go. See, Terry, now you got the Falcon fans all riled up. They're going to put their jerseys on. They're going to want to go out there and play some football, too, as well. Because, Terry – when he speaks, man, he speaks to the team, he speaks to the fans, he speaks to the organization, but he also speaks to the city, right? And I think that moment is going to happen. Terry, that speech that Raheem would probably give once we win the Super Bowl here in Atlanta, it would be for the fans. It would be for the city. It would be for the community. It would be for everybody who's represented this fan base for such a long, long time. So I think Raheem possibly could be the guy, right? It's getting closer and closer to the time where the team has to get out there on that field. And I know the first couple games going to be difficult, Falcon fans. That's why we have to stick with the team, right? I don't need to see you guys week 3 after the Chiefs game, if we lose, coming in the chat saying, "Oh, it's over. It's done. Wrap the team up. Get Kirk out of it." I don't need that. I need positivity throughout the season because we have a lot of games. You guys know what's going to happen around that Carolina Tampa stretch. We got to sweep New Orleans too as well. I mean, this is a team. Terry, I talked about it. Kirk Cousins' passer rating against the Saints alone is like 115 against the Saints alone. So even the Saints right now even Derek Carr is looking like, damn, Atlanta got him a quarterback over there, man. Everybody in New Orleans I talked to already said it. And they're looking at it like, hey, y'all got Penix and Kirk Cousins over there. Y'all got quarterbacks for years to come. They're not too high on Spencer Rattler like that. Some Desmond Ridder days out there in New Orleans. You know what's going to happen over there. So Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Terry's going down in a major way. Carla Wiggins is in the chat. We said division dominance is kind of mandatory. We owe everybody ass whoopings.
There you go, Carlo. And I'm going to be honest, Jack. I'm not worried about – let me tell you something. If you had to if you had to play Philadelphia and Kansas City, that is the perfect time to do it at the beginning of the season.
We saw the teams before the schedule was dropped. We knew who we had to play. Now, this wasn't random that they picked the names out of a hat, right? We knew the teams since next year. I keep talking about this. Next year, we play Arizona in Arizona. We play San Fran in San Fran. We play New England in New England, right? You got to know about some of these teams ahead of time, right? So even next year's schedule, fans are like, oh, damn. We play NFC West, we play AFC. That's a pretty easy schedule. You got to look. We play Buffalo next year. We play Miami with Tua and Tyreek and, of course, with the players that they got over there. So, every game is winnable, but, you got to get through some of those tough games too. So week 1 against the Steelers, the first 4 games is tough.
But they are at the beginning of the season, right? And teams haven't hit their stride. So if you had to play that gauntlet, I'd rather get them at the beginning.
I'd rather play the Chiefs and the Eagles in week 2 and week 3.
I'd rather do it
week 14
because guess what? You might eke one out, or you might dominate them because they don't look. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like we do. They're not gods. They're not titans. They're not mutants. They're not Autobots. They're people. So, hey, they can come out and have a bad night. Oh, there we go, Hal. Hey, Hal. Shout out to Hal. Hal's from my wife's hometown. What's up, Hal, man? It's all love, baby.
Hal Pool is in the chat.
All love. Matter of fact, Hal, I tried to put on Michael Vick's highlights for you or that game that he won in Green Bay, but my Google Chrome started tripping. And I just didn't have time to do it. But I got you next time, Hal. Good to see you, brother. But like I say, man, if you're catching them early, right? They haven't figured out everything. They've not figured out everything. So Falcons gonna come out of this thing 4-0. Because one thing I'll say, these Falcons will be ready. They've heard all year how they just messed up and we're just idiots for drafting Penix and we don't know what we're doing. And the narrative. We got to kill the narrative.
We've already killed the narrative there.
But I think they're going to be so sick of it, man. I think those boys are going to come out. They're going to be hungry. Raheem's going to have them ready to go. And they are going to dispense some justice.
Well, he's speaking about ready to go July 24th.
That's
the start of it. Less than a month away.
Right. And the 27th is when we can go and see that the practice, right? The live practice. That's
the 27th in Buford. That's right.
Yeah.
Dwayne Reference said he loves what Terry is cooking. Which Terry are you talking about? Terry, you cooking over there? Which Terry you talking about, D?
He talking about Terry F. Baby. That's what he's talking about.
Terry F. Baby. Terry T. Wilson. Big shout out to everybody here in the chat. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Falcon fans, We love bringing special guests here to the channel. We've had a lot of special guests, Terry. We've had panels from other content creators and Falcon fans. We've had Myles Garrett here on the channel from Fox 5. We've had John Fricky also on the channel too as well, from 92.9. Who else we've had here on the channel? John Michaels too as well, former from 92.9. I think he's with 680 The Fan. Big shout out to John Michaels. Big shout out to everybody who's been here on the channel. So many content creators once again, and a lot of special guests. But next week, we're going to start back with some more special guests because it's the off season. The Falcon fans got a lot of questions, and they always want to talk Falcons football with us. And Terry, you know, we always love talking Falcons football with them too as well.
Yes, we do.
This Friday, we are back with breakfast with One Time for the Fan, which would be great. Yes, well, coming up next week, July 3rd, we're going to kick off that 4th of July weekend with some diehard Atlanta Falcons fan talk with a content creator, Bryce Lewis.
Bryce Lewis. What up, Bryce?
WYFF News 4. You've probably seen him on Berto's channel too as well recently.
Yep.
Atlanta Falcons content creator. He's also a podcast host for Believe Network with the Hawks. So Bryce will be here talking Falcons football with us next week, Wednesday, Terry. This is going to be great to have another special guest here talking Falcons football with us. I'm sure fans have questions. I know I have some questions. Terry, I know you have some questions. But Terry, another special guest joining us here at One Time for the Fan.
I love it, man. Let's get it. Let's do it. I can't wait. I'm excited.
This is what it's all about. It's all about talking Falcons football with diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. We can keep it real 100% of the time when we talk Falcons football. But guess what, Terry? We're not done there. Because the following week,
there's more.
But wait, there's more. Hit him with that Marlon Wayne. The following week, Terry, we have a not only diehard Atlanta Falcon fan, but we have a writer from Sports Illustrated.
What? Wow.
And a lot of Falcon fans may know who this is. And, of course, fans were hitting me up like, you got to get him on the channel. It's One Time for the Fan. You guys are closing in on the thou wow. You got to get him on the channel. So we're going to get him on the channel. And Daniel Flick is going to be joining us.
Daniel Flick? Okay.
July the 10th here.
I see
on One Time for the Fan.
So
we have July the 3rd. We have Bryce Lewis from News 4. Going to be joining us. Believe Network. Talking Falcons football. Might even talk some Hawks. Might even talk some Braves. You never know. When you're talking with diehard Falcon fans who, share the same fandom for other teams as, yourself, you're going to ask them questions too as well about the Hawks. I mean, they get selected the number 1 pick tonight. I'm sure he'll be talking about it on his channel. So definitely we got to get Bryce in here to talk about, what's going on in Atlanta, July the 3rd, 8 o'clock. And of course, the following week, July the 10th, we have my boy Daniel Flick. Joining us here on One Time for the Fan. And I know a lot of Falcon fans asked a lot of questions to Daniel. He wrote a piece recently saying that he spoke with offensive line coach Dwayne Ledford about Matthew Bergeron. So fans here in the chat, you want to know more about the Falcons, you want to get the insight from the Falcons, you know how it is. We talked to Myles Garrett and we talked to John Fricky and John Michaels. Fans were in the chat asking hella questions because these are the guys that's really close to the Falcons who can get the reports quickly and get it out to the fan base. And, they are definitely 100%, real when it comes to reporting information about the Falcons. They ain't out there putting out no fugazi stuff, right? So Daniel Flick will be joining us on July the 10th. We'll ask him some Kirk Cousins questions, some training camp questions, maybe some roster questions because people want to talk about that upcoming 53 to some camp battles. Terry, don't forget, he's going to be on July 10th, and then the camp starts July 24th. So let's ask those camp questions, right? Let's see what Daniel Flick knows about that cornerback 2 spot, right? Let's see what he knows about that safety spot. Remember, Chase in the chat, Terry, pointed out Chase might be a little bit worried about that cornerback depth and that secondary and that safety depth. Right. So big shout out to Chase. You never know what he might mention on his channel Friday night about that situation. But, Chase talked about it the other day. Why didn't the Falcons go get Oh, well, he didn't talk about it on his show. He
About
talked about it in the chat with
in
us.
the chat, yeah.
Yeah, he said, why didn't the Falcons go get a free agent cornerback and then build the debt with D. Alford and Mike Hughes and Clark Phillips, right? That would have been a little bit more secure to take a guy at, who's been in the league, who's a, I guess more stud at cornerback versus getting a guy who's going into his second year like Clark Phillips. Because if you ask a lot of these journalists and people on the outside of the Falcons, what position they're probably worried about, it's that cornerback 2 spot. Because outside of AJ and Jesse Bates, they're looking around like, boy, if somebody attacks Clark all day, that's going to be a problem. That's what most people are thinking because they haven't seen Clark really step up to that level yet.
I think they're going to scheme for that, though. I watched a show with 95. Was it Weish? Was it Steve Weish? I think Steve Weish was saying that
Big shout
typically, yeah, shout out to Steve. Typically with Raheem's defense is the second corner is an off the ball corner. So I think they'll scheme for that. And maybe that's why this year, because they could draft a cornerback next year, but maybe for this year, as far as their priorities, it was defensive line first. Because in my humble opinion, with Raheem, everything starts with the defensive line. So that's why you saw that emphasis on that, right? And if you got a corner that's playing off the ball, you got the best safety in the world back there. It scheme. So and they could, guess what? Somebody could shake loose. Somebody could be a cap casualty. Somebody could be released. The season's not over. They still could add to that. But maybe as far as, from a draft perspective, they just felt like the priority was the defensive line. And I can't really fault them on that. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I think we all got what we wanted here in Atlanta. We got our defensive players out the draft. We got a quarterback that, like Raheem said during the first couple press conferences here in Atlanta, quarterback was an issue. He got two of them now. Now that shouldn't be an issue, but people are still trying to find ways to, change these narratives about the Falcons quarterback room and, why they selected Penix and then Kirk Cousins and his age and injury and what they paid him. But to see the stats that we just went over about Kirk Cousins, again, 4,000-yard seasons, again, 30-plus touchdowns, again, or 25-plus touchdowns, again, less than 15 interceptions, again. If you get that this year, Falcon fans, we're talking playoffs. I already got my playoff money ready. I don't care if it's at home. I don't care if it's on the road. This is the time where I can't wait till week 13, week 14, when the season ticket holders start getting those emails saying, secure your playoff tickets now. Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to secure my playoff tickets. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this, Terry.
You know what else I think is going to be great? What else I think? I think we're going to win pretty.
We're going to have some outstanding wins this year. I think we're going to have some dominating wins where it's not the 26 to 24 every week. Yeah. You're going to get some of those 27s to 10s, right? What did our boy Philip Sapp said from DFU? What's the score he predicts?
35 to 10.
35 to 10. You're going to get some dominating wins through. I said, in the second half, Falcon fans, whether it's home or on the road, you might be able to move down some seats because some of the away fans don't left.
Out. They might be, but you know what? When I say pretty, I mean, and again, I'm going to compare them to 26
flawless games where Kirk doesn't have no interceptions. Bijan going for $125. Right. Drake got $150. Fantasy numbers going crazy. 4 sacks. You want those NFL moments where you can turn on Sports Center again and say, I can watch this shit all night because you know what's going to happen.
Or you could pull up the highlights on YouTube and it's 15 minutes and it's all your guys.
That's what you want.
It's all your guys. It's like, damn, you know what I mean? Like I feel like we're gonna see Darnell Mooney just 30-yard bomb. Kyle
we've been losing for the past couple of years to a point where we haven't made the playoffs. We haven't won a division. Are Falcon fans ready again for this moment where you could be sitting 5-1? You could be sitting 8-2. I don't think fans can control themselves at that point.
I think they're so ready for it, bro.
They're ready for this moment. I'm ready for this moment.
Bro,
Falcon fans, come on.
Bro, if this was a baby, he'd be a month overdue. Be up in that belly for 10 months. Okay? They are ready. They are ready. They are primed and ready. What?
You know who else is ready?
Who?
The Rise Up Tour fan club's ready.
That's what's up.
They're ready to get on the bus to Carolina. We're talking about these Falcons so much. We're talking about what they can do at home. You need to be talking about what they can do on the road, Terry.
Let's go.
The bus trip to Carolina, it's going down in a major way. As we get ready to wrap up the podcast here, our Rise Up Tour Fan Club segment is for all the fans who love to travel to away games, because fans are always asking us, man, y'all always out there on the road, man. We always see y'all on TV. We always hear you guys, because we all travel together. This is what Falcon fans do. The bus trip to Carolina is coming up. Rise Up Tour Fan Club is hosting it once again, like always. October 13th, it's a day trip, Terry. You leave in the morning, you're back before Sunday Night Football. The game's at 4:25.
Mm-hmm.
So you get some time to tailgate in Carolina. And for everybody that's riding the bus, we'll have the tailgate details for you all. You can sign up at the riseuptourfanclub.com/Carolina. For our members, it's not $100, but if you're not a member of the Rise Up Tour Fan Club, you'd have to pay $100. But Terry, it's going to be your first away game this year.
Yes, sir, it is.
And this is the first trip. You're not going to be able to make Philadelphia week 2 with us, but this will be your first trip.
Yes, it will.
So we're going to go up there. We're going to smack around Carolina. We're going to eat some barbecue. And then we're going to go home.
We're going to kick their arse. Philip, where you at, buddy? 35-10.
That's what it's all about.
35-10.
But guess what, though? A couple weeks later, my birthday weekend,
Tampa.
We are partying hard in Tampa. October 26th, Jack Spade's birthday.
That's right.
It's going down in a major way.
What's up, Terry? Shout out to all Scorpios.
Hey, man, Scorpio season's in full effect when it gets to October, man.
Brother.
It's going down.
We're going to go down there and we're going to kick their arse.
We definitely are. We definitely are. This could be the sweep right here, Terry.
That's right. Clean sweep.
Because we play them the Thursday night game early in the season, and then October we go back down to Tampa. This could be the sweep.
And we're gonna not could be, will be, Jack.
Will be. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that, my brother.
We're gonna kick their arse.
Overnight trip on the bus. You head down to Tampa October 26th. You're coming back after the game. Of course, big shout out to Georgia Coach Lines too as well. Yep. They always look out for us. New 2025 bus they have. Of course, it's all decked out for our Rise Up to our fan club members. Price is $150 per person for everybody that wants to head down. The host hotel is the 4 Points by Sheraton Suites Tampa Airport West Shore. You can see the address right here. And of course, you can see the link to sign up for anybody that wants to head down to Tampa. The parties, everything's already set up. We already got all this information, so fans don't have to ask and have to worry. You saw what we did last year. We packed it out at Riveters, and it was just way too many people. And we told the Bucks crew that we threw the party with, like, it's too many people, y'all. We got to get a bigger building this year. So it's going down in a major way. Bus trip to Carolina, bus trip to Tampa. And guess what, Terry?
What's that?
We also have the Sun and Fun Cruise Part 2 coming up next year.
What?
May 22nd through the 26th, 2025. Here's the deal. It's $25 deposit before June 29th. And that puts your name on the list with the Rise Up Tour Fan Club. It doesn't secure you a room until you're done paying off the cruise, which is by next year, March, right? Mm-hmm. But here's the cool thing. Friday morning podcast, Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. Thomas Scott's probably going to check in with us. He's going to be heading down to Miami because they have a Rise Up Tour Fan Club cruise that leaves Friday afternoon. There's over 100 plus Falcon fans on that cruise. They about to be turning up on that cruise. Terry, you saw some of them at the fan club event the other day at the cookout. But fans are excited, man. I'm looking at people in the chat talking about, the parties that they're going to be attending because Rise Up Tour Fan Club, we have some itinerary that we gave out to, all the members that's going. We gave them a Sun and Fun cruise packet, and they're enjoying it, right? They're going to be heading out. They leave Friday. I think they come back Monday. And I got something. Hey, don't tell Thomas, but I got something special I'm going to do on Friday. For anybody who wants to sign up for the Rise Up Tour Fan Club, I got something special I'm going to do on Friday. Thomas don't know yet, and I told him don't watch the podcast, and he ain't watching the podcast. But it's going down in a major way, and of course, you can follow us on all social media sites at the Rise Up Tour Fan Club, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You see the website where fans become family. Terry,
yes, sir.
That's our Rise Up Tour Fan Club segment. Fans are excited about what we got going on. William Amy said, what about Philly? Philly right now is not being too great of hosts when it comes to what I'm asking for. I would keep it real with you, man. I'm on the podcast, bro. Like, man, me and the homie, like we're working to trying to get it done. Like we're doing the best, but they're not really working with us on some of these, some of these perks we're asking for with the hotels and some other stuff too as well. So Philly loves Philly. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, they do.
Philly loves Philly. That's what I need in Atlanta. I need that type of, that type of fandom here.
Energy.
And I'm sure we're going to get it back soon. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, some information about Philly will be coming out. The Minnesota host hotels will be dropping tomorrow. I already secured that. So if you're going to Minnesota, I got that information. The Washington host hotels. Terry, you heard about the Washington host hotels? We put 30 out. 30's booked.
Okay. Wow.
So 30 rooms booked in Washington already.
Wow.
So
okay.
That's heading out is going down in a major way. William Amy said away games, I'd be there. I know a lot of Falcon fans love traveling to away games. Terry, this is your first year traveling to an away.
I know, man. I can't wait. I'm excited, man. And we're gonna kick their arse. So I can't wait. I can't really, seriously, man. I'm so excited. So I'm excited to be on the road, man. I just think it's gonna be great. That Carolina trip, I can't wait to go up there, hang with y'all, have a great time. That Tampa Bay trip, I'm gonna take my lovely wife with me. Because she doesn't want to just go for a ball game. So what I think I'll do is I may get an Airbnb and stay a couple of days after the game or whatever, and just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Be some
and then fly back, or drive back.
No, we're gonna. You already know what it is. Don't. You know what it is.
Terry, look, I'm telling you, man, we gotta get you on the plane, bro. All you got to do is just take a couple drinks in the Delta Lounge with us, and then you get on the plane and you're over there snoring and snoozing. By the time you wake up, we're already at our destination. But
I will be over there saying the most inappropriate shit on a plane. Like, oh my God, what if it? Well, no.
Terry's wasted carrying him to a seat. They're gonna be like, first timer. Say, yeah, first timer. First timer right here. Follow on Twitter. You can see right there at the bottom of the screen. One time for the fan. Twitter, X, whatever it is. One time for the fan.
I mean, it's there like one time for the fan.
We're definitely not going to put the mic on the plane. I guarantee you that.
One time for the one time. One time.
Facebook, you can see at the bottom of the screen, one time for the fan. You can hit that like, share, and subscribe button over there. YouTube, of course, one time for the fan. Check us out over there too as well, which we're streaming from live right now. Terry's also streaming too as well for my ATL Sports 1 page too as well. So big shout out to everybody who's subscribed to the channel. We're almost at 1,000, so definitely help us get there to 1,000 because a lot of fans really like one time for the fan, and we definitely appreciate all the support. And of course, big shout out to the Rise Up Tour fan club. You definitely have to check them out when we go on the road this season. Vegas, if you go into Vegas, you want to stay where a bunch of Falcon fans are going to be staying, like a lot of us, it's at the MGM Grand. So big shout out to everybody who's heading to Vegas. And I'll tell you some more information about an upcoming party too as well for fans that want to step on out. And it's not outside, it's indoors, Terry. This one is indoors.
It's indoors. It's not outside, people.
This one
is
indoors.
You don't have to worry about the weather. You're indoors.
And of course, if you're listening from Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, you can head on over to Instagram too as well. One Time for the Fan has created the Instagram page. So One Time for the Fan on Instagram. I'll be posting some Falcons content 24/7 damn near on that page. All Falcons, all day. All the time. I'm taking y'all back. Might even post some Vic footage. Might even post some Julio Jones footage, pictures, videos, whatever I got when it comes to the Falcons, man. I'm posting it over there on One Time for the Fan Instagram page. So
it was hot. It was hot at that cookout.
Yeah, Anthony said it was hot at that cookout. That's another reason why I couldn't throw 80.
It was the heat. It was the heat
too as well, and
Yeah, I get it, bro. I get it.
It's going down in a major way. Terry, we're back Friday. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. This is what the offseason does for most content creators, right? It's a chill time, right? It's like vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like people's on, they're working hard. They're getting these hours up, taking care of the bills, traveling, taking care of the family. But when it gets down to the fall, we ball. And you know how the chat's going to be. You know how it is when it comes to some of these special guests we're going to be bringing up. But right now, it's just chill time, right? It's coming to the end of June. It's hot as hell out here in Atlanta, right? So stay cool, y'all. But, we have a lot more. Yeah, stay hydrated, too. We have a lot more podcasts coming up Wednesday shows 8 o'clock, Friday shows 9 a.m., Sunday shows 8 o'clock, pop-up shows every now and then. So we're going to keep you guys entertained until the Falcons put those helmets on and get back out there on the field, training camp, OTAs, everything when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. Even being at the games too as well, home and away, podcasts from different locations that you guys will be seeing too as well. We're taking it to the next level. We don't have that, those songs like Uncle Steve and shit. We ain't got the full studio yet. Uncle Steve over there cutting records with L.A. Reid and all these people. We ain't doing all that just yet.
Steve dropping albums.
He dropping albums over there. He dropping platinum albums.
Matter of fact, it's Tuesday. He just dropped another one.
He just did an 80s day the other day on his show and had a bunch of 80s songs that he was trying to remix.
Yeah, that dude is phenomenal, man.
Some of these artists might need to watch out when Uncle Steve, cuts that podcast on, because your song may be next for him to remix. But it's great that, everybody's having fun with this on their channel, as well, so find a way to have fun on your channel too as well. Keep the fans engagement going this off season. But we are less than a month away before the Falcons put the helmets and the pads on and people start losing their jobs. Terry.
Yes, sir.
Shout outs for tonight before we get up out of here, sir.
Again, shout out to my lovely wife. It's her birthday. Hey man, really love that woman. Been there. It's different when you're with somebody and they allow you to grow, and they grow with you, and you go through things over time, and you grow. You know what I mean? So hey, so happy for my wife. Happy birthday. Enjoy it. Fall out till you fall out. I want to say thank God for everything. Thank him for all the blessings. Thank him for everything that's going on in my life. Praise him. Thank you, Jesus. Jack, thank you for you. To the fans, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let's keep this going. Let's get to this Thou Wow. Please like and subscribe. Guys, you can see me at For My ATL 1 Sports at YouTube. And I will be on first thing in the morning tomorrow and probably Friday. I'll probably do a Friday show as well. But again, Jack, thank you, man. As long as you keep inviting me, I'll keep coming back. I appreciate you, my mentor, my friend. Let's build this thing, man. Let's get to a Thou Wow. With that being said, I defer to you, sir. What you got?
Hey, look, real quick, too. My friend just hit me up. So for those that's trying to sign up for the Rise Up Tour fan club, too, as well, you see we got 19 in the hold right now, right? So when you answer the questions, you may get a friend request from me, Jack Spade, right? So if you get a friend request from me, check your spam folder, too, as well, because I do send an inbox. Send you some information. So as you can see, 19 is in the hold right now, trying to join the group that we have here, the Rise Up Tour fan club.
Love it.
And this is the big group. We also have our private group too, as well, which is the membership group, everybody who paid for their memberships. And if you do decide to pay for your membership too, as well, if you're looking into it, join the podcast Friday. We'll let you know right now. If you want to pay for a membership, join the podcast Friday. I got something I'm working on, Terry.
Let's do it, man.
Don't tell nobody. But on Friday, we're going to drop the information. Somebody's going to get pissed at me from the Rise Up Tour fan club on Friday. Somebody from the admin team is going to get pissed at me on Friday when they hear what I'm about to do while Thomas and everybody's on the cruise, and I'm not on the cruise.
That's right. He's going to go crazy.
So since y'all on the cruise having a good time down there in
swag
Bahamas,
surfing,
doing the swag, I don't even want to see the pictures and the videos with over 100 Falcon fans wearing their jerseys on this cruise. This is what the Rise Up Tour fan club does, man. The first ever fan club cruise. We got part 2 coming up next year. So if you want to be a part of it, I got some great information for you all. But don't forget, next week, Wednesday, Bryce Lewis from News 4 is going to be here with us. The following Wednesday, Daniel Flick from Sports Illustrated and Fan Nation is going to be here with us. But guess what? We got somebody else coming up, and I can't wait to tell y'all, because y'all going to say, Jack, how the hell you get him on the podcast? Well, I'm a Falcon fan.
Jack, when you order your drinks at the bar, do you say shaken, not stirred? I'm just curious.
Shit.
No?
It's going down in the major.
It's Jack Spade. No, or you just Jack. Like it's Jack Spade? I mean,
Jack Spade.
No, I do not. No, you don't? Okay.
I do not. But it's something I might do going forward. Falcon fans, why did he just enter the chat? Oh, man. Looking at my esports chats, I gotta play a tournament shortly with a player that it's annoying. Falcon Falcon fans, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Shout out to Terry. Shout out to the fam. Shout out to Bodie. Big shout out to Chase, DFU. Big shout out to Miss Carrie, who will definitely be back on the podcast shortly. She has a lot going on. It's the off season. People are working. They're getting money. They know when the season comes up what's going down. But a big shout out to everybody in the Falcons content community. Everybody here in the chat. Everybody who likes, share, and subscribes to the channel. My family, too, as well. Big thank you to them. Because without them, it would be tough for me to do this. But thank you all for everything. Rise up, Terry. I'll see you Friday morning with breakfast with One Time for the Fan.